Hi, good morning, and welcome to Microsoft Virtual Academy. Today, we're going to be talking about how to leverage the power of the cloud with your on-prem SQL instances. My name is George, and I'm a program manager from Microsoft. I work on the SQL Server team, and I've worked extensively with the in-memory OLTP feature in SQL Server 2014. And today we have Shin with us.
Okay, thanks, George. My name is Shin, and I'm also a program manager on the SQL Server team at Microsoft. And my focus has been also on the hybrid features in the cloud.
Okay, so today for this 45 minutes, I suppose, we are going to be talking about backup to URL in SQL 2012 and 2014. We're going to be talking about the backup to Windows Azure tool that we have, and we're going to talk about the new feature, manage backup to Windows Azure. And today we're targeting DBAs, IT professionals, and developers, DevOps, people who are already using Windows Azure virtual machines. And we invite you to join the MVA community, and you can get some cool stuff. So first, I'm aware that we already have the backup to URL feature in SQL 2012. So, Shin, can you give us like an overview of what we have in SQL 2012 and 14?
Let's get started.
All right.
So, backup to URL feature is first introduced in SQL 2012 CU2. So, we first introduced the T-SQL statement where we actually now starting support to be on the device type now can actually support URL in addition to the ones that you are familiar with, like the disk and also tape. So first of all, as you can see, the URL type is included in here. In addition to that, we have also introduced the support on PowerShell as well as SMO, like in here. So a lot of the people were asking, why this is useful. So mainly we see the benefits as we can leverage the Windows Azure storage now to be your bottomless feature, so your bottomless storage, so you'll be able to actually do your backup to cloud without have to be concerned about how much storage you have and how to actually manage your devices. And also you get the geo redundancy by default because this is already supported and also provided by the Windows Azure storage.
All right, sweet. So this is really, really cool because right now I can have, a limited kind of storage. But I'm just wondering, what kind of, performance benefits or, even hits that I can expect when I use Windows Azure? What kind of factors will, kind of slow down or speed up my backup?
Mm-hmm. That's a fair question. So before we go there, and first of all, I want to introduce also, what would be the usefulness of it. Like, when we're thinking about backup to cloud, we want to compare against, first of all, backup to the local box and also even backup to Windows Azure virtual machines. They all have limits, and size is one concern. Right. The size now, we can actually lift that band by using the backup to cloud. On the flip side, there are also caveats or limitations to this feature, of course. As you mentioned, the performance is one part, like what I'm showing up in here is the particular test that we have done, depending on the network characteristics of your network. Right. This is mainly what you're going to see, depending on the size of the backups that you're doing, and also on this other side, the restore, that the size is also based on your network latency as well as the bandwidth. So for Windows Azure virtual machines, we typically have fairly large bandwidth. That's not a big concern. But if your own network has a lot of, it's a low or long latency network, then that could be a bottleneck. So this is going to be proportional to that. On the other hand, you also may have concerns or over, like security or even compliance reasons where you may have, you do not want to consider to even put your backups offside, which is totally understandable. And also that could be a limitation to you. And of course, if your backup file exceed 1 terabyte in a single file, then this would not be for you because that is a current limitation for Windows Azure Storage, blob size as well. Yeah. So that is mainly this feature. And we want to do a quick demo just so that people understand what this looks like. So what I'm going to show in here, as I mentioned, we have SMO, we have PowerShell, we have also the T-SQL statement support. And in SQL 2014, we actually did something even you're very familiar with, like the backup restore UI that you already know. This is something that you can actually easily get started using this feature. For example, I have a database in here called TestDB, and I can just pull up my tasks where I have my backup task, and I can just quickly pull up this UI and show you how it's done. So you can see in here, now I have a backup to device type called URL. And for example, if we want to do backup, we could do full or differential or T-log, and let's do a T-log in here. And I can even provide the SQL credential. This is the part where you would need to actually this is considered as a wrapper for your storage account and also the key. For instance, I have in here, this is the one I have created. And then if you don't have a storage account or a credential, you can actually create it on the spot. And this is the new UI that allows you to do that. So since we already have one, we can just quickly go over and do this. But I want to actually also highlight that we have now also encryption supported within this feature as well, actually across the board. So this is nice to have as well. So for instance, I can specify a certificate, and then I can go back to my general, and then I can do a quick T-log backup. Oops, looks like I have just given the wrong credential for some. Oh, this is because I'm actually giving this the wrong container. So that's deselect this one, and then go back to that, and see if we have a duplicate of some sort. And let's see. Okay, now my TestDB has just has been done successfully. Going back, we can also do restore, and I would not complete the restore steps, but just want to quickly show you what it's going to be like. Similarly, we'll be actually going through the storage account and provide the key, and that's connect through that. And then we can see that related to my TestDB, we already have this created, and then we can just go from there. So that's basically it.
All right.
So this feature, as I mentioned, it's only for SQL 2012 and above. But what would be the options if we want to actually go back to earlier versions? So this is the part I want to actually hand over to George, so he can tell us a bit more.
So we haven't forgotten about all of you who are still using SQL 2008, 2008 R2, and for those of you who want encryption for SQL 2012. So what we've done is we have released a tool called Creatively Microsoft Backup to Windows Azure tool. So what is it? What is this tool? This tool is a standalone installation that adds backup to Windows Azure capabilities, encryption and compression to prior versions of SQL Server. So it doesn't matter if you're using SQL 2005, 2008, or 2008 R2, or 2012. You can use this tool to back up to the cloud almost from any version, as long as you have a Windows Azure storage account. So also, this tool adds backup encryption to these versions as well. So this tool can encrypt and compress your backups as you need it and if you want it. And this tool is easy, very easy to configure. You can install it in 5 minutes, and you can configure it in another 5 minutes. Last but not least, for those of you who do not have a Windows Azure account, or for some reason do not want to use the cloud storage, you can use this tool to encrypt and compress your backup locally. So you can use it to add that feature to your SQL Server instances as well.
Yep. I think, a lot of times we heard, our customers asking for backup encryption for a long, long time. So
Yep.
this would be their route to actually now get it all supported for even earlier
Definitely.
versions, which is really cool.
Definitely. So let me show you actually how it works. Here I have a, Windows Azure